Between the years of 2016 and 2018, DalaWux participated as part of the NordPlus Handheld Elearning project. We shared our knowledge and experiences in the field of flexible learning, blended learning, and flipped classroom from the standpoint of adult students with neuropsychiatric disorders such as ADHD, Asperger's syndrome, and autism. The purpose of this NordPlus project was to develop handheld e-learning through a digital toolbox across the intercultural context. But before we go on, let's sort a few things out. What does flipped classroom, blended learning, and flexible learning mean? Flexible learning is a principle of practice in formal education, concerned with increasing flexibility in the requirements, time, and location of study, teaching, assessment, and certification. Blended learning refers to a blend of different learning environments. Blended learning combines traditional classroom methods with more modern computer-mediated activities. Blended learning is a kind of flexible learning, but it's not synonymous. Flexible learning can take place entirely at a distance, while blended learning always includes some physical meetings. The flipped classroom, also sometimes called the inverted classroom, is when the teacher, instead of lecturing in the physical classroom, records the lesson on film as an audio file or in other ways and then publish material online where students can access it around the clock. Handheld e-learning. The introduction of computers was the basis of this revolution, and with the passage of time, as we get hooked to smartphones, tablets, etc., these devices now have an important place in the classrooms for learning. Books are gradually getting replaced by electronic educational materials like optical discs, pen drives, or cloud services. Now, knowledge can be shared via the internet, which is accessible 24/7, anywhere, anytime. Neuropsychiatric disorders among adults. We created a survey focusing on the students' learning and the challenges in learning. Our survey results with adult students showed us that every other student had difficulties concentrating, with attention, and with only written instructions. Every fourth student was restless and had difficulties in focusing on the work, had difficulties communicating with other students, and had difficulties collaborating with other students to a larger or smaller extent. A hidden disorder. Within adult learning in Sweden, many of the students with challenges similar to ADHD, autism, and Asperger's syndrome has no clear diagnosis. In some cases, it depends on the school's lack of mapping the students' potentials and challenges. It might also depend on the students themselves. They might not have understood that they have a disorder, or they might not want to accept that they have a disorder. To be able to follow up on the students' development, we picked up specific indicators of neuropsychiatric disorders. Each indicator is a challenge that is found in these students, regardless if they have a specific diagnosis. The strength with using these indicators is that the teachers easier can understand the students' learning challenges and can implement a specific learning program to handle these challenges. The indicators are lack of concentration, lack of attention, restlessness, difficulties in communicating, difficulties collaborating, difficulties with group work, difficulties with unclear instructions, and difficulties with only written instructions. What do teachers need to know about technology? Teachers need basic knowledge and understanding of working with shared documents, creating accessible working material, use cloud services, create and use video, create and use audio, create and use classroom blogs, use computers, smartphones, and tablets, etc. Our way of working. To be able to train and educate teachers, we needed to set up the learning process in a flexible and modern way. Our keywords from day one has been: we practice what we preach, we focus on practical use, we use a formative approach throughout the entire process. The teachers have been provided with different opportunities and methods for learning and sharing. We have used workshops for groups of teachers. We have provided individual support remotely via Skype or Hangout. We have created a WordPress blog with easy instructions, access to our ebook, and more. We have created a Google Plus group for sharing material and experiences within the group. Based on some challenges during the first year, we put extra focus on specific areas for the second year. We increased focus on dissemination and anchoring in each school. We made visits in each municipal adult learning center with a presentation of our work and its results, and started a discussion about flexible learning and accessibility in each learning center. We created practical learning materials and guides and checklists for the teachers. We increased focus on peer learning, and we added a researcher to our team with a focus on distance learning and blended learning. Development and adaptation. We adapted our work process between year 1 and year 2 based on some challenges that our teachers experienced. Challenge: it takes time to get started. The teacher needs to get from training in flexible learning to practical use in the teacher's classroom. Solution: increased depth in training to create a firmer foundation for the teacher's knowledge. Challenge: the teacher felt it was difficult to disseminate their knowledge to their colleagues. Solution: we created easy-to-use, hands-on working material for the teachers. Challenge: to get active participation in the project from the headmasters. Solution: a roadshow where we visited each adult learning center in Dalarna to inform and to discuss these issues. Challenge: need of increased knowledge about neuropsychiatric disorders. Solution: more support and workshops with a special educator. Challenge: knowing how to choose the right tool and solution. Solution: creating different learning examples with suggested solutions for each challenge. Project portal and toolbox websites. During our time in the NordPlus Handheld Elearning project, we have collaborated on creating a project web portal. Here, we describe the project's intentions and share our knowledge on the subject. On this portal, you will find short introduction about each participating country's contribution to the project and a link to each country's own project website. These websites were also created as part of the NordPlus project and will work as a guide and digital toolbox for each country's field of expertise. On the Swedish website, you will find videos, information and step-by-step guides to help you and your school to get started on implementing flipped classroom, blended learning, and flexible learning, and much more. Please feel free to use and share all of our material in any way that can be of help for you.